was talking about the poultry outlook from next year and beyond. What is the outlook in Nigeria? 10 years ago, you find out that there are lots of live market operations. Poultry processing was limited to just a few companies in Nigeria, except, of course, the small farms that were using manual labor to do their processing. So, but it is expected for many, many reasons that going forward, there will be fewer live bird markets. That means there will be more processing and more further processing of chicken. Less and less imports of frozen chicken is expected as long as our borders are more secured. And especially since COVID-19 has started, trafficking has reduced a lot. So this is expected also beyond 2020. We expect less import of frozen chicken, more quick service restaurants, more eateries are expected to spring up. We expect more further processing of chicken, not just old chickens alone. We expect chicken to be further processed more as because there are eateries, you need to supply them what they need. There is expected increase in demand for professional farming. Traditional farming will be a thing of the past, especially when there is an increase in demand for chicken. If you are not efficient, you will not be able to compete. So you need to be more professional in your approach to run the business. So you expect more well-organized corporate farming setup to be at play. And then, of course, the supermarket chains, where mostly you see chickens on the shelf, they are going to increase in this part of the world. And of course, there is going to be more potential for exports. So those are the things that are positive that we see that is going to happen. And of course, you need to look at yourself from this perspective. If this is what is expected in the Nigerian poultry business going forward, where do you stand as a player, as a small farmer, medium-scale farmer, as a large farmer? Let's just quickly look at the processing operation models in Nigeria as it is now. Today, we can divide the processing operation in Nigeria into three: the small-scale processors, the medium-scale processors, and the large-scale processors. The small-scale processors are processing 0 to 50 birds per day, just a few number of birds, and they do most of the processing on their farms or at the back of their house in an outdoor open setting. And the operation is usually manual. Killing is manual, dressing is manual, slaughtering is manual, and then of course you don't expect them to engage a lot of people to do this. Most of the time it's always a family related business, and they do their operation to target specific seasons, mostly maybe at Christmas or at festivities, or when they are slaughtering for somebody who wants to do a party or whatever, a weekend party or something like that. And most of the chicken they produce in these small holder settings are whole chicken, no further processing, no chicken parts. It's usually whole chicken, and the products are usually sold fresh. These are for small scale on-farm processors. But let me tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you look at 100 farmers in Nigeria today who grow birds, only 2 out of 100 actually slaughter their chicken. Believe you me, less than 2% of the people who produce chickens, even in the small scale sector, process their chicken themselves. And the reasons are many, part of which is due to access to market, lack of processing tools, poor storage, cold storage facility. All those factors are a lot that are affecting the way they work. For the medium scale or medium size processing farmers, usually they have a shed or an indoor facility that is enclosed. Most of their operation is usually manual, and sometimes they have some mechanical equipment that they use, but they are not automated. And of course, they process between 100 beds and 1,000 beds in such facilities. And most of the time they process all year round because they have a steady market to supply whole chicken or chicken parts to. And they supply both fresh and frozen chickens because they usually have a cold storage for the processed chicken. Now, the large processors are actually very, very few in the country. There are very few of them. mostly not more than 15 companies that are working with this model. And most of them process between 2,000 to 30,000 birds per day in their facility. They usually have very standard facility with fully automated or semi-automated equipment using hired labor, and they process every day of the year, all year round. Most of them produce cut-ups and further processed chicken, though a percentage of their production is also whole chicken. And most of the chicken are sold fresh, especially the cut-ups. But they also sell frozen chicken. They also sell further processed chicken, like a roasted chicken and barbecue chicken and other kind of stuff. So that is more or less the outlook or the model that we have in Nigeria currently when it comes to processing. When Mr. Christoph starts his presentation, he's going to be able, he has solutions and offers that will address for small scale farmers, for medium scale farmers, and for large scale farmers. He has solutions for them. He's going to talk about it in a minute. Going further, why are we here today? It is good for us because the essence of this meeting, of this seminar, is to address broiler processing, the knowledge gap, to look at an innovative way for small and medium scale farmers who are processing manually, and to provide modular solutions to their problems. And also for the medium scale and the large scale people who are interested in upscaling, upgrading their facility to innovate in an innovative way. What we are going to look at today is going to address all this. But I need you to pause for a minute and think about what I've been discussing so far with us. Access to processing is a critical issue for small and medium scale producers. Let me tell you the reason why. At this time, the price of day-old chicken in Nigeria is about 500 naira. That is just over €1, well over €1 to buy one day-old broiler to place. And you still have to feed the chicken. You have to provide other inputs to grow the chicken. If you are selling your broiler live, on the average, you probably will sell at 700 naira to 800 naira live weight, which means if you have a 2 kilogram live weight chicken, you probably will be making about 1,500 to 1,800 naira at 2 kilogram for a live weight chicken. But if you are processing, you will be able to add more value and make more money as a small or medium scale farmer. So that is why it is very, very important. Looking at the fact that the future of the business is going to require more processed chicken, a small or medium scale farmer at this time needs to position himself or herself properly. And that's why I'm asking the question, are you positioned and prepared for what is coming? Are you prepared and positioned? Have you prepared your business and positioned your business, your poultry business, for what is coming? Because what Mr. Christoph of Transnational Agri is going to discuss with us will help to address the challenges that could help you to harness the opportunities of the future as a processor.
Well, let me tell you something more about our company. The company name is Transnational Agri Project. We are selling used and new equipment for the chicken processing industry, but also for red meat slaughtering. But today that is not very important, or is not the subject. What we do is we have our agent in Nigeria is FreshLink Nigeria, which was introduced by Dr. Rotimi. What is on the agenda today is, we'll talk about a little bit about design and the layout of processing facilities. Different steps. We'll tell you more about the different steps of the slaughtering process and of the equipment. Different ways of chilling and cooling, some hygienic principles, installation and training, and working with Transnational Agri Projects and FreshLink Nigeria. Okay, as I said, we are suppliers of processing equipment, both new and renewed. Yeah, for the cattle and poultry industry. We started some 20 years ago, and we are based in the Netherlands. We have a warehouse and an office in Kortgene, which is a small village in Zeeland, the very nice province of Zeeland. And what we do, we supply solutions and high quality equipment, mostly from Stork, Linko, Main, and the other well-known European companies. So we never supply equipment from that comes out of the EU. All the equipment we sell is new, also from within the EU, or we buy the equipment second-hand from all these very known, from the Storks, the Linkos, the Mains. Yeah, we bring it to our warehouse, we renew it, and we sell it again. And at last, we supply, install, and provide technical trainings for the chicken abattoirs. What is important before you want to start a chicken abattoir? Well, some capital costs are very important. You need land, you need buildings, you need the plant and equipment, you need installation costs, contingencies, and working capital. Yeah, all this, yeah, it's very important that people have an idea of how much money they will need. Some people will start and just start with, okay, we'll buy some chicken. Money in 2 weeks time, or they have to wait for money, or money will not come. Yeah, the equipment, the cost of the equipment is high. Cooling is also is also a very high capital cost. So all these matters, all these items, you have to consider very well. Then what are operating costs? You have your personnel, you have a maintenance and spares, water and sewage, all is listed over there. Yeah, this is very important that people realize what they will start. Yeah, it is better to start with a small unit and go make some money with that money, and then with that money you can invest in bigger equipment. Yeah, then start off with a big unit, and at the end you will see that you have financial problems. So we recommend also always, yeah, start with a small unit that financially you can cover completely. What is important to know for the layout and the capacities? Yeah, the number of birds you can slaughter. Where, also important, where will you get the birds from? Where will you get your chicken from? If you have one broiler house with 10,000 chicken, yeah, okay, then you can slaughter all these 10,000 chicken in maybe 5 days, but then the rest of the, let's say the cycle days, you will have no chicken. So you cannot only depend on your own chicken, maybe you will have to buy chicken from other farmers. How many hours you will slaughter per day? That's also important. The weight and the hot poultry carcasses, whole poultry carcasses, I think. Yeah. And the whole chilled carcasses. You remember that, okay, it is important to know that if you have a chicken, a live chicken, you have only 75% that will stay, that you can sell as meat. So you have a 75% yield. So for every chicken, let's say a chicken that weighs 2 kilos, you will have only 1.5 kilos of chicken meat. That is very important to know. Also important is fresh or frozen meat. Will you sell fresh chicken, which you don't have to freeze? Freezing is very expensive. Fresh is less expensive. You have to make sure that your chicken is chilled and not frozen. Yeah. Will you sell it in whole, as a whole chicken, or will you sell it as in pieces, cut up? All these things, please have an idea before you start doing or before you start setting up your abattoir. Also, the slaughter system used. The birds move on an overhead conveyor through the processing machines, or the system will require more labor, which is like for a batch system. Yeah. Available budget. Yeah. Batch system versus conveyor system. That is not only depending on the budget, yeah, but also on how many chicken are you able to sell. Yeah. Don't forget that every chicken that you slaughter, you have to sell. It's not to keep it in storage in your freezer, yeah, that you are slaughtering the chicken. So normally the ideal situation is that every chicken that you slaughter, you will sell it the same day, or you have sold it already the same day. Keep that in mind. We have two types of processing systems. One, you have the batch system, and two, you have the continuous system, which can be said as a conveyor system. The batch system, what is that? It is, of course, less expensive. Yeah, you have to calculate on a budget of 30,000 euros, but that's including some cold rooms. It needs some more labor, definitely, but labor in Africa normally is quite cheap, so that is the good thing. Maximum that you can do with a batch system is 500 up to 800 birds per hour. If you say, let's say you work 8 hours, that is already between 4,000 and 6,000 birds per day. You have to realize that selling 4,000 to 6,000 birds per day is not a small job. Yeah, it's quite complicated. So think of that. A batch system is also more simple to operate. It needs less maintenance, yeah, but it needs more labor. About the good management, it is as good as a conveyor system. We can say that it might be even better. Yeah, the visual quality of your chicken will maybe be better than with a conveyor system. Because the plucker, the fixed plucker in a conveyor system can, I say, well, can create some red spots on the chicken. The conveyor system is more expensive, but normally you can do more higher capacity, and it needs an investment of around 80,000 euro. Okay, yes, that's only a figure. Is it possible? It is possible to process more chicken per hour, of course, yes. Yeah, you can do the highest, to give you an idea, in Marel or Stark. Yeah, up till now, they have not been able to make lines that are doing more than 13,500 chicken per hour. 4 divisions, always 4, whatever system you choose. The first is the reception of the birds and the killing. The second section is slaughter, scalding, and defeathering. These two sections, we call it the dirty section. After the dirty section, you have the clean section. That is the evisceration, the washing, and the offal processing. And after that, you have chilling, cutting, packing, freezing and storage, and dispatch. Just as an important item, when you slaughter, you should always know how many chicken you have slaughtered. If you kill 1,000 birds a day, you should be able to sell 1,000 birds per day. Calculation is very important. That, okay, otherwise it is possible that you have a lot of theft. Yeah, this is always important to know. Yeah, the number that is coming in and the number that is going out. This is an example of a 500 birds per hour line that we are doing now for Ethiopia. I don't know if you can read it, but this is the stunner, bleeding trough, scalding tank, plucker. This is the dirty section. And then we go to the clean section with the evisceration trough, where people are standing along the conveyor line to empty the chicken and clean the chicken. And then we have here more space for processing, for packing, cut up, whatever they want to do. And then here is the area for cooling and freezing. And this is the exposition. To give you an idea, this is like 23 meters long and 12 meters wide. This was an existing building, so this is not the ideal situation. The ideal situation is when we do the layout of a chicken abattoir, we do it from scratch. So together with the client, we are proposing him a layout, yeah, which he can accept or not, yeah. But normally, okay, it is for future extensions. It's much more easier once if we can do the layout ourselves. Because here in this case, if you want to extend, yeah, it's quite complicated to do extension of scalder and plucker, yeah, and then where to go to, where to put more cold rooms and etc. Yeah, so better start from scratch. Now, something more about the process itself, the stunning. The stunning is done to make the bird unconscious. This is not for halal people, yeah, because stunning cannot be done for halal, yeah. Okay, like I said here, it is done with electricity stunning. The chicken goes, the head of the chicken goes to a small water bath, which is under tension, yeah, and by this the chicken gets electric shock, which will stun the chicken. Oops, stunning. The killing and bleeding. Killing is done or by hand, yeah, by hand. Most it has to be done by hand in when you do the halal killing. In Europe or without any halal killing, you can do it by a machine that has a circular knife and will cut the two veins of the chicken that are located next to the throat. Very important is to bleed out well. 2-3 minutes is ideal. Yeah, so you need quite some length, yeah, to let it to do the can do soft scalding, which is done at 52 degrees Celsius, or hard scalding, which is done at around 60 degrees Celsius. The difference is that when you do scalding at 52 degrees Celsius, the color of the skin is hardly affected. So you have a natural looking skin of the chicken. This is done mainly for fresh sold chicken. If you want to freeze the chicken, this is not so important because the outlook of the chicken is not so important. And also you cook the chicken. And then the scalding can be done at 60 degrees Celsius. The higher, if scalding is done at higher temperature, that means that the feathers will loosen easier the chicken, and it will be easier to pluck the chicken. So you will need less time in for plucking. Oh, here it is. Okay. If I only slaughter for frozen products, do I need a higher or lower capacity slaughter line compared if I want to slaughter only fresh poultry meat? Well, if you do only fresh poultry meat, you will need the scalding length will need to be longer, yeah, and your plucker will need to be longer too to obtain the same results. As I said, when you do scalding at higher temperature, yeah, the feathers will loosen much easier the chicken. So you need less plucking time. Defeathering process removes the feathers mechanically. Conveyor, yeah, in a batch unit is quite simple. You just on the right here you have a batch plucker. It's quite simple. You put the chicken in a scalder. You put them in the scalder for 1.5 minutes, 60 degrees, and after you just throw the chicken in this plucker, and the chicken will be plucked in, let's say, less than 20 seconds. In a conveyor system, like you see here on the left, yeah, the conveyor will carry the chicken through the plucker, and also this will take something like 15 seconds. Refurbished equipment. Now I show you a little movie. This is a refurbished plucker. Oh. Okay, this is an example of a plucker that we fully have fully renewed, and that is going to Ethiopia. Oops. Sorry. Ik kom hier niet verder. Hey? Daarnaast? Zo? Oh, yeah. Okay. This is a finishing plucker. Sometimes it is necessary to remove the last and the little feathers. But when your plucker is long enough, you don't have this problem. Evisceration, this is for a batch system. This evisceration here, we have hang the chicken on. Yeah, so it is very easy to empty the chicken with the evisceration tools. These tools are more, this is a lung sucker. This is used in a conveyor system. Yeah, this is to suck up the lungs of the chicken. But when you do that, you need a vacuum system, and you need not only the vacuum pump, but you need also vacuum tanks to collect these the lungs and other offals that you suck up. Okay, chilling, air or water chilling. Always the good question. How will we chill our chicken? Is it by air or is it by water? The most important thing to know is both systems are good. What is important is that you do it as quick as possible. The temperature of the live chicken is like 36 degrees Celsius. You have to make sure that from 36 degrees Celsius, you go down as fast as possible to 4 degrees Celsius. Why is that so important? Because in warm conditions, you have a lot of bacteria growth. And these bacteria, they will affect, they will have a very strong effect on the life cell, the shelf life of the chicken. So when you cool down, chill down the chicken very fast, you don't have this bacteria growth, yeah, so that your shelf life will be longer than if you do the chilling in a very slowly way. So very important, yeah, it has to be done, the chilling has to be done as fast as possible. Advantages and the pros and cons of air chilling. Air chilling is good for fresh is a maximum. I think it's more 1 or 2%. But anyway, you lose some weight, not too much, but some weight. Water chilling, water chilling, you can gain 6% of the weight. 6%, I'm not sure. Yeah, but okay, you gain some weight, and after leaking out, it's ideal to freeze product. Okay, it is more expensive. Water chilling, it is, yeah, because you need a spin chiller. You need a special device to put in the cold water and move forward your chicken. And in case of fresh project, you need drying again. Of course, when you put a chicken in a cold bath, you take it out, it will be completely wet, and a wet product different ways of chilling. Well, we have said water chilling, air chilling. Uh, Basically, it's not so important what you do. The most important is that when you do it, it has to be done very fast. You can also do a combination of the two, yeah, or you can do it in a reefer container. But be careful, a reefer container is not a blast chilling, so that can take a lot of time. So don't put too much chicken in a reefer container. A reefer container can be good for small quantities, not for conveyor system where you do 500 chicken per hour. Yeah, this is not a good solution. Or rooms, no interference between the different steps. Okay, we have spoken about the dirty section and the clean section. Nobody from the dirty section can go into the clean section. That is forbidden. And people from the clean section should not go into the dirty section, of course. Staff need to be trained in a proper way, of course, washing hands, cleaning boots, wearing clean clothes and things like that, which is very logic. Wearing good and protective clothes, use of clean tools and equipment. We also sell equipment for cleaning the boots. We sell equipment for have to be used. Training. Here you see some pictures of a plant that we have erected in Uganda. A plant for that was calculated for 1,200 birds per hour, and now they are doing 10,000 birds per day. Oh, yeah, sure. You hear me? I'm back. I hear. Okay. There are some special training courses in Barneveld for chicken processing. Then something more about the starter unit. When you really want to start from scratch, you don't have any experience at all with processing, we recommend, we have made a special starters unit for these people, which is consisting of a batch unit, including the killing carousel, a scalding tank, and a rotative plucker. This is the rotative plucker, and a set of necessary accessories and a reefer. These are accessories. This is a packing horn, this is a neck cutter, a lung scraper, portion cutter, and a reefer is a refrigerated container. The capacity is like 120 birds per hour, so you can process up to 1,000 birds per day. All the equipment is new and mainly in stainless steel and is coming from Europe. What can transnational agri projects and FreshLink offer? Of course, everything goes through FreshLink. If you are already in the business and you say, okay, we are ready for a 500 birds per hour line with a conveyor system, yeah, we can offer that too. We can offer up to 6,000 birds per hour. But I think for most of the people following the webinar, I think 500 birds per hour or 1,000 birds per hour will be more than enough. So that's no problem. We can supply all that. Here are some of the equipment that we sell. These are vent cutters, packing horn, working tables, portion cutters. This is a trolley. Yeah, should be a trolley for the air chiller, boot washer, knife sterilizer, scissors for cutting chicken.